This one, Counter-Strike Strange Evolutions. 2 hours ago. Oh, baby, right in time, huh? Let's go.
Once not good, like a statue. All good things were once not good, like a statue. It at one point was just stone, yet to be carved. Or Lamborghini started out as tractors.
Well,
a beautiful painting was once an empty canvas. My point here is that most good things now started out as not too good, like Counter-Strike. I wouldn't exactly say it was bad, but it's had over 20 years to grow and become better, and that it has. There is so much cut content, ideas, gameplay elements, and other things
Was?
become better, and that it has. There is so much
That's not how the game used to look like, oh?
cut content, ideas, gameplay elements, and other things that aren't in the Counter-Strike most people know today. So I decided to download some of these older Counter-Strikes, including the oldest and most obscure versions, and I'm going to try and document my experience with these weird little quirks that eventually became the Counter-Strike we know and love today. Now, I want to make this list going from the oldest Counter-Strike up to the newest Counter-Strike. Starting off with the oldest version of Counter-Strike you can get, Counter-Strike Beta 1.0 from 1999. This was the first ever public release of the game all the way back in 1999. This is also the version of Counter-Strike that was legit just a straight up mod of Half-Life. So not only did you have to own Half-Life to play this, but it also had to be the 1999 WON version of Half-Life, not the one on Steam. This was a pain in the ass to set up,
Bro, this is older than 90% probably of Twitch chat. Probably 99% aware.
It was worth it because I think it's got some things none of you have seen. Loading up into the game, the first thing you can notice is that all the maps are the CS game mode. In case you didn't know, the only game mode originally in Counter-Strike was the hostage game mode. The diffuse game mode wouldn't be introduced until later, so that's already something pretty odd from the first iteration. You've got some classic maps here like Assault, Desert, Mansion, Prison, Siege, and Weapon Depot. Yeah, I know none of those other than Assault. A feature that was also in
Siege is the best screenshotting map to this day. The best lighting, everything in CSGO.
every old Counter-Strike, excluding CSGO and CS2, was sprays. Unless you want to count graffitis as sprays, but they're a little different and cost money. I found you could choose which spray you wanted, which came in a wide variety like the Half-Life Lambda symbol, very cool, a skull and crossbones, very scary, and Andre the Giant. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that one. There's also a spot to the right to choose what kind of player model you could have, which I assume was scrapped later because this didn't work and it's not in any other Counter-Strikes. I also tried to go into the chat room and internet games, but whenever I'd click on those, they'd just crash. Anyways, let's actually load up a game. The first thing I noticed is that the gun is on the left hand. This is a default setting, and as far as I know, there's no way to switch.
Bring it back for CS2, please. Well, let us choose.
The game also had the most atrocious keybinds that I don't even know how to explain that I had to change out. The next thing I noticed was just how horrible the buy menu was in this version. Really, any menu in this game just didn't work properly. The rounds also didn't seem to progress like normal. There was no timer, no money, nothing really indicating that I was playing a match. And since I had no money, I couldn't buy any other guns. I tried using console commands. Also, look how silly the console looks in this game. But none of the console commands worked. Another thing I also noticed was the Glock worked similar to how it's always worked. Just pressing right click would shoot a burst of bullets. But the CT USB didn't actually have a suppressor in this version. If you press right click, it'd just shoot the gun, so you pretty much had two shoot buttons with this. I was sad that I couldn't test any of the other guns until I realized that I don't even think you could use other guns in this version, because there weren't even any sounds for the guns in the files other than the Glock and the USP. Oh, also, there wasn't even a knife in the game. I found this old text file written by someone named Poseidon that described the knife with a big soon to come next to it. This mod was also so jank at the time that there is a description saying to bind different keys, one being the key to rescue the hostage once you take them to the zone, and saying that you might have to press the button multiple times for it to work. Now, let me get to the gameplay side of things. Most maps had these weird cameras, which I'm not gonna lie, were fucking useless. You couldn't even get off the cameras once you started using them until like the weird camera cycle was done. The map mansion and a few others also had light switches.
What? Fucking Rainbow Six. What is that?
Which is pretty cool in my opinion. The hostages were also just straight up Half-Life scientists.
Okay, let's go.
And to extract them, they'd have to follow you to the end. I could probably make a whole video on how weird this version of the game is, but I think I've had enough with it. So I'm moving on to the full Steam release version of the game, Counter-Strike 1.6. Right from the menu of the game, it seems way better. No more random selections or having to modify.
Oh, when I see this, I immediately have to think about our R/Plays masterpiece. If you know, you know, baby. Oh, who misses our place? I know a lot of people hated it. I fucking loved it, bro. Did they retweet that one? I don't even know. I'm not gonna scroll. But we did that on our place.
1.6. Right from the menu of the game, it seems way better. No more random selections or having to modify your game, and all the settings are condensed into a nice options button. Tabbing out of the game as well no longer fucks up my whole computer. Going to start up a game, we can also see that there are way more maps now, including the diffuse game mode, which if this was a year when the game came out, I don't really know where Counter-Strike would be now, thank God. Loading into a game, our gun is now on the right side, and CTs can now put on a suppressor. There are also loads more items in this version than the beta, of course. One of these items being the night vision goggles. Yes, for some reason, Counter-Strike had NVGs in the game that basically serve zero purpose. I mean, don't get me wrong, they did work, but what pitch black map are you gonna play that requires these? There's also a tactical shield in the game, which was pretty booty. I mean, I never played this game like at all, so I have no clue if this was meta or anything, but I assume it wasn't too good. Oh, don't let me forget, because I always forget when playing this game. You need to buy ammo for your guns. No, you didn't get the luxury of getting ammo with the guns you just bought. You had to remember to buy the ammo for the guns. Also, the suppressors on the M4 and USP didn't have them on by default. You could also buy both teams starting handguns from either side, so if you wanted to buy a Glock as a CT, you can. I hope there isn't too much about this game I'm forgetting about, because we're now moving on to one of my first and favorite Counter-Strikes, Counter-Strike Source. But before we can get to that, I want to introduce this video's sponsor, Skin Club. Please only use this site over 1 offend your mic and get us truly straight how it was. It still had players, of course, but most people stuck to CS 1.6. CSS was really meant to demonstrate how Counter-Strike would play on the new and improved Source engine that was used for Valve's new flagship title, Half-Life 2.
Such a zoomer, man. All these old CS titles. I joined CSGO 2015. God damn. Early 2015.
Most people really dislike this game though, but
I never played 1.6, even though I really should.
I loved it. I would mainly just play against bots along with my brother on the map DE Chateau for whatever reason. Also, if you were like me, the only reason you had CSS to begin with was because of Gmod, but I digress. Since Counter-Strike Source was meant to show off the new Source engine, which was very proud of its physics, it of course had to have physics objects in it as well. This would allow you to do some pretty stupid things like rolling a barrel over a bomb after you plant it, or being able to move your cover wherever you would like it. A lot of people hated this because it strayed away from the tactical aspect. This game also had night vision in it as well, which was even more useless because the maps were much better lit than CS 1.6. Like I said, this game was mainly just meant to port 1.6 to the Source engine.
Were there like strats where teams placed a barrel in a certain spot for like head glitch or something? That sounds so fucking sick, man. Yes. Whoa.
Quite similar to the port of CSGO to the Source 2 engine. So all the guns that were added stayed the same. Nothing new was really added. Moving on to our beloved CSGO. Now how boring would it be for me to go to the straight up current day CSGO?
I miss it, bro. I haven't played CSGO in so long, man. Shut the fuck up. Good old times, no? Good old fucking times.
I want to start with the beta, and not just any beta, the 2011 PAX build beta. This is pretty much the equivalent of the CS 1.0 beta I showed at the beginning of the video, but for CSGO. I really have no clue where to even start with this game because it just doesn't feel like CSGO at all. Well, to be fair, it was made by an entirely different company other than Valve. If you didn't know, CSGO was actually started as a paid project by Hidden Path Entertainment to port over Counter-Strike Source to console. That's why the buy menu in CSGO is a circle, because joystick. The CSGO we know and love today though, was the version that Valve eventually took over, but I'll get to that later. First off, this beta version of CSGO made me actually want to die because how hard it was to install. It wasn't supposed to be hard, but for whatever reason, my computer just wouldn't open the game. I troubleshooted this for like 3 hours and decided to try it on my laptop, and it worked. So ignore my dookie aim because I wasn't on my PC. Looking at
that looks like shit.
The game, it doesn't look too dissimilar until you really dig in. Like when you realize that there's actually an unreleased scar in the game, an MP5 that may or may not have had textures, the TMP from other Counter-Strikes that your character reloads like it's made of paper, and the Galil had a scope. The bomb in the game also looked like this goofy giant IED.
What is that, bro? Looks like a fucking Happy Meal box.
Giant IED. And the CTs used to have a bayonet. And the Ts used to have a flip knife. And there's night vision. Let's just be thankful that this isn't how our CSGO turned out.
Knife.
This was also the first Counter-Strike to introduce Molotovs. Yay. This was also the only version of CSGO.
Oh, and there's some posts from pros who say, oh my god, can we please delete the Molotov? Let's keep CS the way it was. It's the same right now with the smoke, the spreadable smoke. Guys, change sometimes is good. Accept it. Trust me.
Though that had the cut Georgian right.
This is tweets from pros. I think, who was it? I don't want to name any names. I think it was Dupree. Who said, please delete Molotov. Was it Dupree? Who was it? Zubnex? Glaive? Okay, you're just saying random names. I don't know who it was.
Right police faction in the game. In this version of CSGO, the hostages also followed you around like in the other Counter-Strikes. I'm sure there's plenty more I could explain in an entire video, but Penguin basically did the same thing, but with a bit newer version of the beta, so make sure to check that out. Now, moving from the PAX version of CSGO, we obviously have the CSGO of today, or last week. This version got picked up from Hidden Path Entertainment by Valve because they saw the potential in it. Thankfully they did, because it would have completely bombed in my opinion. The game also ended up releasing on consoles, if you didn't know, but saw no more updates after like 2 of them. So it's stuck in this really weird time capsule version of the game. I don't know about you, but I think we all know what changed in CSGO. You could pick hostages up, no more night vision, no more riot shields, yet, no more MP5, yeah, and a bunch of other weird quirks. I'm sure there will be plenty more changes in CS2 in the future, similar to all the other Counter-Strikes, and hopefully there's some pretty cool ones. Counter-Strike may be changing, but let's be happy it's not adding a new character with different abilities and 20 new maps every update. Anyways, I think that's enough with past evolutions for this video. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you liked it, and if you didn't like it, go ahead and leave a comment why, and I'll try to do better next time.
Well said, well summarized. I enjoyed that a lot. Once again, if you're not already subbed to fucking Goldec, then do it right now. Move your mouse towards the subscribe button. Ring the bell. Ding dong. You already know. W video. Actually, the reason why the models were originally left-handed to begin with was because Ming Lee Guzman was left-handed himself. What? Blood thinks he's the main character or what? Interesting.